So we have just exited the make room. We were watching Jonathan make a batch of Reading cheese. We are now going to enter into the aging room. So after the cheese wheels are made, they're technically not really cheese yet. It takes a while for the cultures to become active and move throughout the curd. It has to be properly washed and aged, and then that's when it technically becomes cheese. Some cheese, like our Tase, is aged a lot longer before we sell it, and some cheese, the Reading cheese, is a lot younger. It's around 2 months before we're capable of selling it. We'll take a walk inside, we'll take a look and see what we can learn in the aging room. All right. I can't really open this, the lid off of this container, but in this giant white box is salt water. Really, really salty water. We call it a brine bath. The wheels of cheese, when they're first made, come out of the make room, and they will actually sit into the brine bath for desired amount of time, depending upon which cheese they're making. It helps to put a firmer texture on the outside of it. It also helps to give it a salty flavor, as well as pull out any additional moisture. After the wheels have soaked in the brine bath, they come and they end up on one of these shelves right here, where they end up getting inventoried and stamped with the day that they were made and a particular make day. This happens to be an aisle filled with Tase cheese. On the left side, the wheels of cheese you can see are a little bit darker than the wheels on the right side. So the right side, where it's nice and light, happens to be a younger cheese. And as cheese gets older, it gets darker and darker.
Welcome to the aging room. I am flipping the wheels of cheese. Since we don't want to wash the bottoms of the cheese, they would get too wet and slimy and sticky. We have to flip them, and then we only wash the tops and the sides. So right now I'm just going through and flipping everything. This is the place where all the cheese gets aged. It goes in as fresh cheese, kind of tasteless, just kind of salty and a little milky, and it comes out as being real cheese. It's where the culture reacts to the aging temperatures and the salt water to produce the cheese that you know as ours. Right now I'm flipping Ashbrook. It's an old wheels. So these are just about ready to go out right now. So right now we're just washing off all of the kind of white molds that are gathering on them. They do influence the flavor. Moldy cheese does not mean bad cheese at all. It's all good cultures. It's all cultures that your body already has in it. And we're just propagating culture, getting it to grow, getting the good cultures to grow, getting the bad cultures to be beaten back by the good ones that we naturally try to make thrive on the rind. My favorite cheese is Ashbrook. I really like the line. There's a line of ash that runs through the center of it, and it's really pretty to put on a plate, and it tastes really good too.
Here are some younger wheels of Ashbrook cheese that have been made, and you can see a very fine line. That is the line that Elise talking about. When these wheels of cheese were made in the make room, they were actually cut in half like this, and a very fine dusting of an ash solution was painted on, and then the top was put back on, kind of like if you were taking apart an Oreo cookie. Take it off, put it back on, and then they were put into the round molds and squeezed back together again. And that line will be all throughout the wheel of cheese when you cut it up. So we know Ellie's favorite cheese is Ashbrook, and now we know Jonathan's favorite cheese is Reading. Whose favorite cheese is Tase? I like the Tase. Here we have a wheel of Tase. You can see that this is much different than the Ashbrook. The Tase has a concave side to it. That's kind of a traditional aspect of the cheese that we're trying to create. I guess in theory, when this was made, a long time ago in the mountains of France, it was taken out of the caves and was carried down on the back of pack animals, and a rope or a strap would go around the wheel this way, and that would help to secure it as the load came down out of the aging caves and into the villages for sale. So the Tase is the older cheese. It has a stronger flavor to it. It's also a little bit harder. Some people think it tastes pineapple-y or nutty, but I really enjoy it. So this looks like some new Reading cheese.
These are brand new Readings.
They're being scrubbed with, this is salt water, or is this the morge?
This is morge.
This is the morge. The morge is a fancy word for special cultures that are on there. So Elise is washing the wheels of cheese with the morge, populating it with cultures and whatnot that are help the cheese to age, live on the outside of the cheese, and help to get the process going. So after all the wheels of cheese are aged to the desired length of time, depending upon Reading, Ashbrook, or Tase, they eventually need to go to market. So the wheels of cheese are pulled out of inventory, they're placed on our little conveyor belt here, and they are slid down into the packing room. And if we look through, we can actually see that there are wedges of Reading cheese getting ready to be individually sealed up and sent out to market. This is the very first cheese that we started making on Spring Brook Farm. This is the Tase. Again, you can see the concave edge and the rind, and it's a pretty hard cheese. It is vacuum sealed up for sale here, but this is what a wedge of it would look like coming out of the wheel. This was aged approximately 10 months. It's approximately, I'd say, a pound or so. And it's a really semi-hard cheese. It's really great for melting. It has a stronger flavor to it, and it does a really fine job of winning awards. This is the second cheese that we started making on Spring Brook Farm. This is a Reading cheese. This is aged approximately 2 months before it's ready for sale. It is a much softer cheese. Does wonderful cooking with and making grilled cheese sandwiches or mac and cheese. Really pleasant. That's a favorite amongst kids. And the third cheese, the one that Ellie was talking about, is her favorite, is the Ashbrook cheese. This is very similar to Reading. It's aged approximately the same time. It's approximately the same texture as far as softness. Very mild in flavor, and you can see the line of ash that goes all the way through it. The three cheeses that we make at Spring Brook Farm. And if you arrange them appropriately, you can see that it spells art, as we are true artisans in the cheese making world.